Most men are weak, not because they were born that way, but because they chose to be. They beg for validation. They beg for attention. They beg for love from women who no longer respect them. And when the silence comes, when the messages go unanswered, when the door stays shut, they collapse. You were not made to beg. You were made to build. Look around you. The modern man is starving for identity, begging for scraps of purpose in a world that rewards weakness and punishes strength. But here's the truth. Nature respects power. Society bows to discipline. And women? They only follow a man who walks in silent authority. If you don't lead yourself, you'll end up following someone weaker than you just because they had more conviction. This is the battlefield. This is war. Not with other men, but with the coward inside you. The voice that says, text her again. The voice that says, just wait, maybe she'll come back. The voice that makes you trade your dignity for a dopamine hit. That voice must be crushed, and crushed by force. Step 1, burn the pedestal. You want her more than you want self-respect. That's your first failure. You put her above you. You act like her attention is oxygen, like her silence is a punishment. But Stoic men don't place women on pedestals. They place themselves in control. Marcus Aurelius didn't beg the empire to love him. He ruled because he ruled himself. If you can't walk away, you're not a man, you're a servant. Burn the pedestal. She is not the prize. You are. If you master yourself, stop too. Master the art of indifference. Stop reacting. Stop explaining. Stop overthinking her silence. She didn't ghost you. She gave you a gift. Now you can build uninterrupted. Seneca said it best. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Every text you send after she's pulled away is a nail in your own coffin. Indifference isn't passive, it's power. The man who doesn't flinch commands the room, and the man who doesn't need her attention becomes the one she can't ignore. Step 3. Build in the silence. You know what most men do after a breakup. They scroll, they cry, they beg, they call their ex, they chase closure. But a Stoic man? He builds. Silence isn't punishment, it's opportunity. It's the forge. It's the place where the weak scream and the disciplined sharpen their blade. When she stops talking, you start working. When she stops caring, you double down on your purpose. When she blocks you, you go build something that makes you unforgettable. Not to her, but to yourself. Your silence is sacred. It is not for venting. It is not for crying into the void. It is for creation. Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. So, what do you say to yourself when she's gone? Because your answer reveals the truth. You were never building for yourself. You were building to be seen. And when the spotlight turned off, you stopped. That ends today. You don't beg to be chosen. You build to become undeniable. Step 4. Kill the fantasy. Stop romanticizing what never was. She wasn't your soulmate. She was your mirror. She showed you your lack of standards. She exposed your emotional dependence. She exposed your emotional dependence. She didn't destroy you. She revealed you. You built a fantasy around her potential, not her reality. That's why you're in pain. You fell in love with an idea, not a woman. Here's the Stoic truth. Clarity is earned when you strip away illusion. And fantasy is the first illusion that must die, because as long as you're attached to the story, you'll never accept the facts. She walked, she changed, she chose someone else. And you can either sit in that story forever, or you can close the book and write a new one. But it must begin with this. She is not your purpose. She was your distraction. Get space. 5 stages. 5 stages. Pain is part of life, but suffering is a choice. You suffer because you replay the pain instead of responding to it. Most men collapse after heartbreak because they have no plan. They think emotional chaos is a reason to stop. But Stoic men know emotions are fuel. If you train them to be, push into your routines, push into your mission. No man was ever built in his comfort zone, and no warrior was ever forged without loss. Stop talking about your pain. Stop trying to feel better. Start moving. Start executing. Start bleeding forward. Use heartbreak to build discipline. Use loneliness to create focus. Use rejection to forge a new code of honor. I will never again place my peace in the hands of another. I will never again need permission to rise. Step 6. Lead yourself first. You want to be respected by women? Lead yourself. You want loyalty? Show loyalty to your mission. You want submission? First, master self-discipline. Most men beg because they're lost. They don't lead because they don't know where the hell they're going. And a man with no direction always ends up chasing someone else's. You were not made to orbit around her world. You were made to build your own. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, but still wrote in his journal every night, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." That's what leadership is. It's not about dominance. It's not about games. It's about being so rooted in your path that anyone who joins you is upgraded just by proximity. So, if you're still asking what she wants, stop. Ask instead, where am I leading my life? And can I even expect a woman to follow a man who hasn't mastered his own direction? Step 7. Stop needing, start creating. The modern man is addicted to needing attention, needing her to come back, needing closure, needing a woman to feel like a man. But a Stoic man needs nothing but his purpose. Every time you say, "I need her," you're announcing to the world that you've abandoned yourself. You don't need anything outside of your control. You build, you create the body, you create the business, you create the habits. You create the silence that breaks other men and makes you untouchable. This world rewards creators and punishes beggars. So if you're begging, stop. Pick up your tools, pick up your values, pick up your fucking spine, and get to work. Let's stop pretending this is about her. It never was. This is about the war between the man you are and the man you were meant to become. Every time you chase, every time you beg, every time you let your emotions lead you into weakness, you betray yourself. But from this moment forward, you don't beg anymore. You don't wait. You don't explain. You build. You build the body. You build the business. You build the discipline. You build the man she could never destroy again. And you do it in silence. Because strength doesn't announce itself, it radiates. You were not made to kneel, you were made to build. To suffer with purpose, to lead with vision, to walk alone and never waver. So stop texting her, stop checking her stories, stop talking about what she did. Then start doing what you were born to do. Build, lead, rise. Repeat. Hit like, hit subscribe. Then get off this app and get back to building. No one is coming to save you. Your life depends on you. Make sure you're worth the effort.